I'm Andrew Means. Welcome back to Backstage Pass. With me is Bruce Connole of the group The Strand. Thank you for being here, Bruce.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. As leader of the Jetsons in the past, you took one route to success, and that was to go to the major labels and try to get their interest.
Yeah.
With The Strand, you've tried to take another route. Tell me about that.
Well, you know, the Strand's still a pretty new band. I guess I'm just a little pessimistic when it comes to dealing with record companies, you know. With this deal, I would much rather just kind of go around and build up kind of a grassroots type of regional kind of situation, rather than mail tapes to the janitor at Warner Brothers, you know, and try to convince some guy in a three-piece suit that we're going to be the next Whitesnake, you know.
Well, judging by the turnout, it's been very successful in the clubs where I've seen you perform. Is there any way of working for an audience, working for a following? How do you get those people in?
Man, I don't know. All I really know how to do is, like, do the best you can.
Yeah.
Get out and play, and hopefully people will show up. You know, as far as like any kind of hoopla or anything like that, we really haven't done any. You know, we don't have very elaborate haircuts or anything along those lines. You know, so. I mean, I'm not putting those people down. God, Lord knows I wouldn't do that. Gosh.
How about your relationship with other people in the entertainment industry here, club owners? Does that make a big difference, knowing the right club owners, being on good terms with club owners?
Club owners, if you draw, you'll have a good relationship with any club owner anywhere. Yeah. You know, unless they're a very strange individual. Because most of those guys just want to make some money, sell some.
Now, one complaint I hear from local groups sometimes is that you just can't find club owners that pay well.
That's a pretty popular complaint. It all comes back to the draw. If you got the draw, you know, like when we deal with clubs, we don't really even bargain with money too much. It's just like if we bring people in, that's our part of the thing. You know, I mean, we bring them in, we'll get that. They buy drinks. That's your trip. Yeah. To me, that's the most even-keeled relationship you can have going. You know, if you bomb, you lose money, you know. When you're up against a guarantee and nobody shows up, you know, then it's got to come out of the club owner's pocket, and vice versa if you do, you know, if you go over it. So it seems to me it's like that's the closest way you can get it to being actually reaping the rewards of whatever it is that you know, from what you do. Anything other than that gets a little complicated in my mind.
So where do you go from here? What's the game plan from here?
Well, other than sending a bunch of tapes to a lot of janitors for a lot of record companies, I personally want to work really hard on getting a road thing that's
just
not
make
profitable.
It regional, just move out to the region.
Just play around, like this is it, this is what we do, you know, if you like it, great. If not, then we'll see you next year. And just try to work that up. And just, you know, because that's something you can do for a long time, you know, rather than waiting for some genie, you know, that works for MCA to come down and, you know, make everything really wonderful.
You have got one cassette out, as The Strand.
Yeah.
Tell me about your thinking behind that cassette, because I know it was marketed to a limited number of people.
It was mostly just a promotional type of deal, you know, like if you're dealing with club owners that haven't heard you and things along those lines. I didn't want to get too bogged down with trying to market a local tape, you know, and you know, here we are, we're going to pretend like we're really big and we got a record out and we're going to try to make it look like one and everything. And I didn't want to get off into that, but so that's why we kept it as low key as we did. It's mostly just a promotional tool, and you know, it sounds like the band. If you like the tape, you like the band. If you don't like the tape, you don't like the band. So,
how much time do you put into writing, into the creative side of it?
That's really hard. I spend a lot of time writing, but only about 5% of that is fruitful. You know, I mean, I write a lot of bad stuff. I just don't play it for anybody, and it's something I try to do consistently, which is a relatively new thing. Like in the last year, I've tried to spend, like I was saying, an hour and a half a day just writing, and usually you just come up with you end up playing old Hank Williams songs for an hour and a half, basically what you end up doing.
So you never really know where the ideas are coming from or when?
No, they come from, who knows, But, you know, because every time you get a decent song, it always seems like a little gift, you know, it's like somebody just kind of slipped it to you or something. And usually the songs that I've written that I like the most are songs that don't sound like something I've written, and, you know, which sounded profound. I don't know what it meant, but...
Thank you, Bruce, for being with us.
Hey.